everybody, it is July 2nd, the day that you're seeing this, so happy July. Welcome everybody to the channel today. I greatly appreciate it. Pull up a chair, grab your beverage of choice, or just have me playing in the background. This is going to be a little bit of a chatty one because I am talking about some things that is happening in the sewing community that I'm quite excited about, that I will be participating in. And so I need you all to come on board on this journey as well, because it is going to be so much fun. Okay, future editing me popping in to say, starting Thursday, June 29th through Tuesday, July 4th, Joann Fabrics is having a sale on Simplicity patterns, Butterick patterns, and Vogue patterns. The Simplicity patterns and Butterick patterns will be $1.99 and Vogue patterns will be $5.99. So again, make sure you get over to Joann Fabrics, take advantage of the sale. Also, make sure you're following Rochelle from Rochelle Handmade Designs. She always posts about the sales in advance. So I wanted to share that with you just in case you missed that, because it is before July 4th. So you will be able to enjoy this sale. So thank you everybody who's first time tuning in today. The Sewing Buzz is a monthly video that I put out the first Sunday of every month. And I pretty much do a roundup of all indie pattern releases. Maybe I'm talking about some sewing challenges that I know that's going on that I'm paying attention to, or you know, some technique, or maybe it's a sewing tool, something like that, something in that vicinity that I'll be talking about. So today's video, as you can tell by the title, we will be talking about, I will give my first impressions of the new MiMiG book. And then also the first thing we're going to talk about is the Pattern Hackathon. And so I have my notes for those who are new to the channel. Again, I usually have my notes, try to keep myself on task, so it's not an overly long video, but this one is going to be a little longer. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to leave chapters for this video so you can skip ahead. The video, I did a sew along, and I noticed the chapters I put in there weren't working in the, they weren't popping up on the screen. So I put them in the pinned comment on that particular video. It was my sew along for my final Vogue 1937, the pattern in focus. If you want to know what that is all about, that was an entire series that I did this previous quarter. Simplicity is up for the next quarter, so you all are currently voting on that. Go over to my community tab and pick the Simplicity pattern that you would like for me to work on for this month, the month of July. So don't forget to do that. But if you missed the previous video, it was a complete sew along for Vogue 1937. And so for whatever reason, my chapters weren't working on the screen, so I end up pinning the chapters in the comment. So if I find that that's happening again for this video, just look at the pinned comment and you can skip around. So let me tell you what we're going to cover in this video. So we're going to start a little different, and we're going to start with what I am excited about, and it is like the timing of this is absolutely perfect. So if you all follow Chris of Unsocial over on Instagram, you have already heard and already have seen the different graphics that she has put up and shared about the Pattern Hackathon happening from July 1st through the end of the month. And so Chris reached out to several sewists through Instagram and asked if we wouldn't mind participating. And so I want to thank you, Chris, for reaching out to me. This is really getting me outside of the box, but let me share with you just a few details, because this is open to everyone to do. The what Chris has done and she selected 16 sewists over here on IG, which includes myself, and we have been paired up. So there's teams of 8, so 2 people in each team, and so we will showcase for a full week. The 16 sewists, or the teams of 8, will showcase what they have hacked, the pattern that they use, what they have hacked the week of July 16th through the 23rd. Now again, it is July 2nd that you're seeing this, so it has officially kicked off. You as a sewist, creator, go pull out your pattern, try a new pattern and do some hacking and post it, because there are giveaways, prizes available for everyone. So let me get you into some of the details. And so the hashtag that you should share, that you should follow, is PatternHackathon. I'll put that on the screen. And so that is the hashtag that you definitely want to use to see what people are doing. People will be sharing probably some behind the scenes, different things of that, what they're working on. But the reveal for the 16 is not until the 16th through the 23rd. And so make sure that you're following along so you can see what everybody is doing. So I am teamed up with, can you believe it, Sylvia from the Rival Out. And so I am so super excited about it, because you know, she is awesome. She is simply amazing. We have chosen our pattern. I will not share that with you. I'm going to leave you in the little suspense. Yes, I'm going to do that. But make sure that you're following. If you're not following Sylvia over on Instagram, I'm sure you are, but if you are not, go ahead and follow her over on Instagram. And yeah, you will get a video of what the pattern is that we used and how I hacked mine. And then you follow Sylvia over there on Instagram and see how she hacked hers. But stay tuned. The pattern is picked. I already have fabric. Yes, I just need to test part of my what I am hacking the pattern, just to make sure what I'm thinking will work, which I'm pretty sure it is. It's just going to be a matter of, I know some things that I'm going to need to do. So planning for this had started back in June, and so yeah, it has just been so exciting. And yeah, so make sure you stay tuned and jump on to this sewing challenge. Again, it's a way to get you out of the box, the way to, you know, you see a pattern and you think, oh, I gotta sew it up on the way the envelope says. And if you're not comfortable with hacking and new to hacking, still follow along, because this may begin to, you know, shift your mind, shift your thinking, and think, oh, I would have never thought to do that with that pattern or those patterns, depending on, you know, what people are doing and everything like that. So make sure that you are following along over on Instagram. All right, so we're going to jump into the new indie pattern releases. There were a lot in the month of June, right? Or there were, yes, there were a ton. But the ones I'm sharing with you today are the ones that caught my attention, that I was most interested in. I always forget to share what I am wearing. This is McCall's 7742. I have a complete video of this and construction and what I thought. I absolutely love this. This is a really nice, it's an easy sew. So make sure if you missed that video, go ahead and check it out. I'll leave it up in the iCard. I'll probably pop it up at the end of this video too, just so you can click on and go watch it. But yes, this is very nice and perfect for a day like this, which again is hot. But let's get into the new indie patterns. So this first one you all already know about. I am not going to go into a lot of detail, because you know I was a pattern tester for this. This was the Santorini top by Itch to Stitch Patterns, with that beautiful button detail, the beautiful princess seams in the front and back. And you all know that I played with a little color blocking, used up the rest of the, pretty much the rest of the linen that I had received from my good friend Myra, and paired it with some chambray. Beautiful, absolutely love it. I need to make, somebody mentioned this in that video, I definitely need to make some shorts to go with this, and another skirt. But yes, that love, and you will love it if you want to hear, again, like I said, a full on review, my experience with the testing, as you all know, the facings for the arm and the neck is all in one. I showed you how to do that in that video. If you want to see all of that, hear all of the details, make sure you go check out that video. I'll probably make sure that that one pops up at the end too, just so it's easy for you and you can click on it and watch it. Okay, next up is Helen's Closet. She actually released 2 two patterns, the Cassidy top and the June pants shorts pattern. Now this is termed as for intermediate. The size range, you know, she has a really good size inclusive range up to a 60-inch chest and hip. And this also includes two size options. She does have a B cup pattern for the goes up to a B cup for that size 0 to 22, and a D cup from sizes 12 through 34. So that is really good. Both views provided can easily be mixed and matched. Obviously you can, you know, top with the shorts or top with the, and I'll be popping up pictures, top with the pants. But I do like that view A has the short grown on sleeves and the narrow waist tie. I think that is so good. It looks like from the pictures you get a nice wraparound with that top, and it gives you a nice fit, especially if you are fuller bust across the bust. But yeah, and then view B of that is more cropped, right? And then the pants shorts pants pattern also goes up to a 62-inch in hip. And then you have options if you decide to do the pants for it to be wide leg pants or shorts with anchored inseam pockets. So I thought this complete set was really nice. Lots of options there. And if you love Helen's Closet patterns, and her instructions are really good. I've made a couple of her patterns. They are really good. So you would definitely enjoy this. Plus I think the shorts are really easy. There are a couple, I think, very easy type patterns this month to share with you, and this was definitely one of them. The next one is Tilly and the Buttons released SD. It's called the SD Co-ord, and this is a top and trouser mix that is staples that you can either sew separate or that you can make them together and even create, as termed in the pattern, a faux jumpsuit. Now me personally, I still have not to this day sewn any Tilly and the Buttons patterns, but I have noticed some of the styles as of late that have been coming out have been appealing, very appealing. And so I thought I would share this with you because the top I absolutely love. It has a square neckline, which you all know I like these, or I like those square necklines, or a little bit more of a scoop in the neckline. It has diagonal bust darts, and it does have two different lengths as well for the top. And then there is with the trousers, you have the wide legs, full length or cropped, or shorts, and then of course you have the elasticized waist also. So again, with the fitting and maybe any adjustments you need to make, you might not have to make a lot because you do have the elastic in that waistline. But I thought this was a really cute set pattern, and again by Tilly and the Buttons. All of these patterns I will leave a link down in the description box. Next, okay, a little bit off the garment tone, but we have Waffle Pattern Company. So I have personally patterns that pretty much kind of fit these different designs, but for those who are looking to get into bag making, this is one that I thought was really cute. It's a whole set. You have the different sizes. You have 3 different sizes. You have, it's called the grocery size, commuter size, and the accessory size. Now again, this is something I wanted to share just if you wanted to get into bag making. I do like the utilitarian look of this particular pattern. Lots of pockets, lots of different details, different things you can play up. And so yeah, I would say if you want to get, if you're familiar with Waffle Patterns, you like their instructions, definitely give this pattern a go and see, you know, again, you have the different size options and you can just kind of play around with it. Definitely domestic machine friendly because you can use a cotton, a different type of woven. And so yeah, I would say definitely give this one a try. Now we have the Deer and Doe patterns also released 2 patterns. They released the Camellia blouse and the Eucalyptus jumpsuit. And so the Camellia is an oversized blouse featuring short sleeves with the polo placket. View A has your cap sleeves and view B has your ruffle sleeves. And so this, again, very timely for this type of weather. If you're in the hemisphere where we're getting all this heat, is warm, so you know this is, so you want something that's not all, you know, super close to you right now. And then the jumpsuit has a button front featuring a Cuban collar and open back. Now, I thought this was quite interesting design. I am very curious. Now, I did go out on Instagram just to see some of the versions that was sewn up, and looked on the website as well. Very nice pattern, very, very pretty. I think the design details are unique. And so yeah, I was like, okay, I'm gonna see some more of these sewn up just to see what people are doing. But again, we are getting into hacking season. So anyway, wanted to share those two with you. The next is, I think, a very good pants pattern. Is by Style Arc. It is called the Latin pants, and so, or load din, could be locked in or load in. Wide leg elastic pant with angle pockets. Again, very I think a very basic pattern that can become an easy staple for you. Especially, think about these patterns, you know, depending on the pattern company you like, you enjoy. Think of some of these patterns that can become some of your basics, and then once you get the fit on them, say like these new Style Arc pants, you love the design, flat front, elastic back, and you get a really good fit on there that you like, that you enjoy, then you can just start hacking that and doing different things with it. But again, we're going to get into that with that MiMiG book, so continue to stay tuned. Next is the Green Style Creations Barefoot one-piece swimsuit. So I have been sharing these pattern releases of these swimsuits because, you guys, I did go through, because I did put up, if you saw my simplicity is the pattern in focus for this quarter, and so I did put up that swimsuit. But I had to make sure I had, you know, enough notions and everything to even make the swimsuit. Fabric, I had more than enough, but you know, the swimwear elastic, all that stuff, I need to make sure I had enough of that, so I did. And so I saw this when this first came out. I was like, okay, another one piece, you know, what's so special about it? But I do like, it does have a 2-inch full bust dart option, and shelf bra is included with this pattern. And I do like, you have to go out to their website and look at all the variations, the different scoops and all of that, the scoops in the front, the back, and then some people had them higher, some people zipped the front. It does have a lot of flexibility in the pattern. And Green Style Creations, their sizing is really good, size inclusive. And like I said, this one has that 2-inch full bust dart option for it. And so yeah, consider this for a swimsuit pattern. Next is the Closet Core Joe dress and jumpsuit. So this, I figure, was a great move, because if you look at this, you all know, a lot of us are kind of like iffy when it comes to jumpsuits, depending on the style and the design of it. And so yeah, you know, you want to make sure that, okay, you can get in and out of it easily if you happen to go out, be out and about, right? But what I do like about this, some jumpsuit patterns like this one that I thought was a good move, is that it also has a dress option. So you are, say you love the jumpsuit, you love the sleeves, because this is a grown-on sleeve, and the bust darts that are up in the front, and you're like, but I don't want to wear it as a jumpsuit, it'd be nice as a dress. Well, there it is. This particular pattern does have the dress option in it, and you have the option of different length versions of the dress. You have the midi length, straight cut skirt, front darts, all of that. So yeah, this was one that I thought was a good move by Closet Core Patterns, to also be able to interchange this as a dress and not just a jumpsuit only. Next is the Made for Mermaids. They have made a new release for their resort collection. So if you follow Made for Mermaids, you know they have that that resort collection, and every now and again that they release a new pattern that's added into what they call their resort collection. And so they have added the oversized button down and the flat front bottoms once again, you can make this your own once you get the fit. I thought, again, because of the way the top is designed, it's a Dolman style sleeve, and there it has a collar and button down placket. You do have the options of different sleeve variations, lengths, and everything. So I thought it was really good. And another one, if you once you get the fit down of the shorts, of the top, and then you can just start playing with it and hacking it and doing different things with it that you might like. Our final indie pattern release, and then we're going to get into the MiMiG review, is the Sew Over It Sophia dress. This was a style I didn't see coming from Sew Over It, because theirs is usually more kind of vintage, classic. I don't necessarily see this so vintage, like from their vintage range. It just has a more modern feel to it to me. You have to let me know what you think, but I thought it was quite pretty. I thought this was quite pretty. The Sophia dress is a strappy dress, so obviously you can tell in the when you look at it online and look at the pictures, the straps can be made wider, especially if you want to make sure you keep your bra straps covered. But I do like that the lower back cutout, there's a cutout in the lower back, and then you have that bow closure for the back closure. The bodice is lined and gathered at the center front to create that gentle sweetheart shape. And so, yeah, I thought this was one of those patterns from Sew Over It that was a little bit outside of what they normally do. But I thought it was fantastic. I think this is a beautiful, beautiful dress. Obviously great for the summer months. So like I said, I will leave links to all of the patterns down below. You may have forgotten that these were released in June. You want to go back and check them out, or just go check out more pictures and how people made them up. And so now we are going to get into the MiMiG book. Okay, everybody, if you were like me, you jumped on the pre-order for this book. I forgot, maybe it was 2 months ago. I can't remember when MiMiG posted about pre-ordering her book. I think it was 2 months ago. And so I jumped on it. She had been talking about the book periodically over the past year or so. And so, yeah, when she finally released the pre-order, I definitely went ahead and got the pre-order and got the book the week of, I want to say I got it like the 23rd or 24th of June. And so I have had time to thumb through it. And so I wanted to be able to share with you my first impressions, just thumbing through what I see, what I noticed of it. There are, for those who don't know, I'm sure many of you do know, there are 7 base patterns in the book, and then of course instructions on how to put all of those different looks together, and then the rest of the book is highlighting different hacking options. So you actually get the different patterns that you get in the book are, you get the button up, the trousers, the pencil skirt, the fitted tee, the camisole, the wrap dress, and the duster. Those are your 7 base patterns. And then later in the book is then when she starts going over the hacks for those. Now this particular book, in the beginning, there is information on maybe some basic things, maybe some terminology, sewing terminology, like what is a dart, what is notches, different things like that is in the book. And then she talks about grading between sizes. She also talks about grading up patterns, different things like that, choosing your size, little tidbits and different things like that is in the beginning of the book. And then, like I said, then it goes into the 7 patterns, and then after that it goes into the hack of those patterns. Like I said, very timely. I will say, when I first got the book, I was just thumbing through it, looking at all of the looks, because as you know, in the back of the book is where she highlights many of the hacks. She has 100, I want to say, hacks she has done with those 7 base patterns. And when I say those looks are absolutely awesome, they are beautiful. Quite a few I was drawn to, others not quite my style, but that does not matter, because again, the book is highlighting how you can make a pattern unique to you, your particular taste, and what you want to make. Now I will say, when I was thumbing through, of course, there was a dress that jumped out at me, and it's a pink wrap. She hacked the wrap dress with the ruffle hem. So cute. Now y'all know I'm gonna add some length on that, but I thought that was so cute. It was just something that just popped out, and so yeah, I thought this is going to be so good. What I absolutely like, well, first let me just talk about the sizing. I have my notes here. Sizing. Now, here's one of the things about the book that some may not appreciate. This is one of the things some may not appreciate. So you all know my measure, well, for those who don't know, my full bust measures at a 45 right now. My hips, my waist a 39.40, and if I'm bloated, and then my hips are about a 52, right? And so when you look at the finished garment measurements, and MiMiG did share this over on her IG as well, the finished garment measurements, I did notice that about half of the patterns, my body measurements hit at the top of the range for some of these patterns, which for me is not very size inclusive, because for me personally, I want ease and movement in my patterns, so I would have to grade up the patterns in order to build in that extra ease that I'm looking for, right? However, you all know, for me personally, I am not a fan of grading up patterns. I don't believe in grading up patterns. For me, I've always said, and I will stand on this, if a pattern does not come in my size, I am not buying it. And so I will, you know, if I get to that point where I can fit into the size range, great, but if I'm not, I won't. And so for me, the sizing in the book, for me, is not a deal breaker for not getting the book. There are, like I said, I forget the count. I think it was maybe 3 to 4 of the patterns. I hit right at the, you know, the finished garment measurements. It's either inch or 2 smaller, or right at my body measurement size. But here's the thing. For me, I am not, this is how I look at it, I am not a natural hacker. I've done the basics. You all seen it. I will turn a tank top into a dress in a heartbeat. I mean, okay. The other hack that maybe stands out to me that I've done was my birthday top. You know that I hacked the Anak, the Casito Studios Anak, and put the sleeve from that Beauty Jador pattern onto that. You know, I talked about that and everything. So I am not a natural hacker. I am guilty of looking at a pattern cover or a pattern and not thinking of ways to hack it, make it look different, change some things about it. What I will do is make sure the fabric, I might do different things with fabric choice, right, to really allow the garment to stand out. But for me, naturally hacking something is not the first thing that always comes to my mind. But I will say, now that I am participating in the Pattern Hackathon and also getting this book, it is allowing me to think outside the box of what I see on the pattern cover and turn those patterns over. We hear this all the time. Turn those patterns over and look at the line drawings. Is there something in the line drawing that you love, that you like, and you're thinking maybe I can, you know, use this piece of that pattern and on something else. And so what I will say is that this book is for that. If you're like me and you buy all the patterns, right? You buy in patterns and you want to do something different with them. You want to think outside the box. Maybe you're not a pattern designer like me. I'm not interested in being a pattern designer. That is not my lane. I don't have that desire. But what I do want to be able to do is get more mileage out of the patterns that I do have. It doesn't matter if it's an indie pattern, it doesn't matter if it's a commercial pattern. To get more mileage out of a pattern is something that I am wanting to do, what I do desire to do. So I would say, still get this, because those patterns that for as of now that aren't in my size range, I can have, or I have a pattern that is very similar and that I can still do the hacks that she has in the book. And if you follow, I believe it was she did a live, MiMiG, not too long ago, maybe a couple weeks ago by the time I'm filming this, where it was mentioned, she mentioned maybe you these patterns, you have a pattern in your stash that's similar to these. You don't have to use these patterns, but you can still use the information, the resource information in the book to hack them. And so that is something that I plan to do. And so for me, this is a tremendous resource. If you are a pattern designer and you naturally just, you see a pattern and you just think of 1,000 different ways on how to hack it and do all that other different stuff, if that's you and it comes naturally to you, this book might not be beneficial for you, right? But if you're like me and you're trying to get mileage out of those patterns that you already have in your pattern stash, this is a really, really good book. And also she did mention on Instagram, because the patterns are right here in the back of the book. So they're all right here. Let me put my notes down. So just so you know, all of the patterns are here, right? But they're nested together, which means you have to trace them out. They're, you know, overlapped on top of each other on these papers. So which means you have to trace out what you know, want to make, and then once you trace it out, then that's your main pattern, because, you know, you've traced it out. But then you might trace it out again. You might want to have a trace just for the original design, right? But then you trace it again to be able to hack that pattern. And so once you've made alterations and everything to it, right? And so what MiMiG did offer is, if you show proof of purchase, then you can send that to her, email her, and she will send you the link for the copy shop version for each pattern. And so that's what I did, and I got that response the next day. The next day I had received the link from MiMiG's team, and I have each of these 7 base patterns individually as a copy shop file that I will send to print when I am ready to work on that particular pattern. And so yeah, I would say get the book. Get the book. Especially if you're a fan of MiMiG and her journey, and that you've been following along her journey, her sewing story resonates with you, and you have found that her tips and tricks, her video tutorials that she's done over the years, I call her OG YouTube. MiMiG was first for me that I saw who was doing fashion sewing and doing it right. And so you've been following along, and she's helped you in your journey and all of that different stuff, and you want to continue to support, I would say grab the book. It is really good. But like I said, in all honesty, you will have some limitations in the sizing in here. However, like I say, the caveat is, if you already have patterns that's similar to the 7 base patterns in here, get the book so you know how to go ahead and hack those patterns. Because again, like I said, in the back of the book, she has 100 looks on how she combined, styled, hacked all of this, these different looks, how she styled what she hacked. And so yeah, absolutely love it, love it, love it. And yes, I am not using this book for my pattern hackathon that I am doing, the pattern that Sylvia and I are working on, because we had, you know, pretty much to decide all that back in June. And so by the time I got this book, that was already decided. But yes, this here, there's more pages in here I want to digest and look through even closer, because there are a few ideas that I have for some patterns that I already have, that I was like, oh, I can definitely apply this to that. And so and then there's a couple patterns in here that I want to go ahead and send off now to print for copy shop, so I can make them up and try some of the hacks. So that is my first impressions of the book. If you have it, definitely let me know what you think. Or have you already started making anything? I know a lot of people are like that when a new pattern drops or something like that. They get out there and they get on it and they start creating and making things up. So is that you? I am typically not that person. When a pattern drop, I feel like I gotta hurry up and make it and everything like that, because I like to digest, think about it for a little while, see how everybody else has made something up. But if that's you and you already started making something out of this, let us know. If you're on Instagram, put your Instagram handle down there so we can go check it out and see what you have made. So yeah, everybody, thank you again for tuning in today. Happy July. Make sure you stay tuned for Wednesday's video. What is Wednesday's video? I don't recall, and I don't have my calendar in front of me. I forgot to share with you from my monthly makes calendar, everything that I made. Usually I do that in this video, but I knew this was going to be a longer video. So go back and check out what I have been making up for in the month of June. It was a fun sewing month. And stay tuned for July. I will be doing a wrap up of Vogue patterns that I made in from the first quarter, the pattern in focus. And then of course you'll see the pattern that was chosen from Simplicity. So all right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in today. I greatly appreciate it. You all have a blessed start to your July, blessed start to your week, and we will see you on Wednesday. Bye.